up right now on Q30 News. The shooting in Newtown prompts QU to rethink safety measures, how public safety plans to keep us safe.
Plus, BOB takes over the TD Bank Arena. We'll tell you how to snag a ticket.
These stories, plus a new mobile email policy is causing some confusion on campus. Matt Cregan has that story coming up. The news starts now.
Good evening, Quinnipiac, and welcome to the Q30 Nightcast. I'm Ryan O'Grady.
And I'm Lisa Capobianco. After the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting, Quinnipiac is on high alert. Public Safety has an emergency guide brochure explaining what to do in the event of a violent intruder on campus. According to the emergency guide, direct calls to 911 blocks communication between a security dispatcher and the scene of an emergency. Instead, callers should dial 111 so a security dispatcher can see which building they're in. Public Safety will then call Hampden Police and refer them to the building using colors and numbers.
And students living at York Hill were greeted back to school with some unexpected plumbing problems. Due to a broken mixing valve, many floors in Crescent lost hot water. The cause of this problem may also be due to a backup of hair, food, and soap. Keith Woodward, Associate Vice President of Facilities Operations, said, quote, "There have been other drain backups in the past at the Crescent, but not this many at one time. The hot water has since been restored and the problem is resolved." And rapper and singer-songwriter B.O.B. is taking over QU. The Student Programming Board has announced that the hip-hop star will be the headliner for this year's Wake the Giant concert. Meanwhile, SPB sent an online survey to the student body so they can choose the show's opening act. Students can choose between Wallpaper, Andrew Allen, or the Lonely Biscuits. The concert will take place on Saturday, April 13th, and tickets go on sale February 25th.
Quinnipiac spirit groups are getting ready to perform all over campus. Alyssa Meyer tells us how one group is preparing for this coming semester.
Quinnipiac's dance company is already hard at work getting ready for the spring semester.
We're a student-run organization that choreographs dances and performs at events at Quinnipiac when we can. And yeah, we're just a dance team that's continuing passions that we've had since we were younger.
The company includes students with different backgrounds of dance, like freshman Marisa Raguzzo, that come together to do what they love.
My dance team in high school was really important to me. It was really important for me to be a part of something like that at Quinnipiac. So when I looked into dance company here, I realized it was exactly what I was looking for, and it kind of made me feel like I found my place here.
Besides performing at basketball games and other events on campus, Dance Company's main event is their annual showcase at the end of each semester, where members choreograph their own dances and perform the styles they love the most.
All semester long, everyone gets to choreograph once you've been on, and we work all semester long. We're doing them once a week, and then in the end we have one week, and it's just rehearsals every night leading up to our show.
With hard work and dedication, the company works together to show the Quinnipiac community what they love to do. Senior Natalie Karpinski's time on Dance Company is coming to an end, but she will always keep the team close to her heart.
Being a senior on Dance Co, I've been doing it for 7 semesters now. Met such a great group of girls, made really close friendships, and it's been such a nice break to be able to use your passion to do something fun.
Alyssa Meyer, QNN.
Coming up on the news, the latest on the earthquake and tsunami that killed 5 people yesterday.
Plus, one shower a weatherman wasn't quite expecting. We'll have that crazy video just ahead.
These stories and more are on the way.
You're watching Q30 News. We'll be right back.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
A new mobile email policy is causing some confusion on campus. Matt Cregan tells us why.
The New York Times announced this past week that its employee emails were compromised by Chinese hackers. The Chronicle might not be worried, but the Quinnipiac IT office is concerned for the faculty and staff.
From now on, if a faculty or staff member wants to check their email on the go, they're going to have to enter a passcode first, which right now just seems like an inconvenience.
It is annoying because, if you know to save the screen and save the battery, those screens go off frequently. I don't know if I necessarily feel safer or not, but I think it's a good idea because we're all constantly on, our mobile devices.
The new security system requires a 4-digit PIN to unlock and access email. After 10 failed attempts, the access wipes out. The new security is permanent and prevents any user from modifying it. Josephine Liz is a tech star at QU, and she's even been a victim of email hacking.
So last New Year's, my email got hacked, and what it did was someone got into it, I have no idea how, and they sent out to the people that I had in my contacts, it sent out like Happy New Year's, like pictures saying Happy New Year's and all these graphics. So I wasn't even mad because I was like, you know what? It just did me a favor. Now I don't have to tell people Happy New Year's.
The tech stars give some extra advice. Never save your passwords for email or when internet shopping to protect sensitive information. Matthew Cregan, QNN.
Hi Bobcats, I'm back with Anthony Hopkins and Anna Brendage, two seniors who just went on an FBI trip to South Africa. Hi guys, how are you?
Good.
Thanks
My
for
name's
coming.
Austin. Anthony's no
very
relation.
Nice,
Yeah.
Very nice to meet you. So can you guys please tell us about the trip you went on?
Where to begin? We over winter break we were in South Africa. We flew to Johannesburg the day after Christmas, and then we took a short flight to Cape Town International Airport, and we were in Cape Town for about 2 weeks. And we were making a documentary film down there, and I mean, it's such an amazing country, beautiful people, beautiful places, amazing food, great beer. Everything about it was just so incredible, and it's weird being back in Connecticut because it's not as hot as tropical African summer. Our tans are starting to fade a little bit.
That sounds amazing. How many students went with you guys?
There were 11 of us.
Oh wow! Was this for a class or this was just through the FEI major?
This was Liam O'Brien's FEI 355 single camera production class.
Oh wow!
There's a field lab component, and that's what's in South Africa. And we now meet once a week throughout the spring semester to put together all the footage that we compiled while we were in South Africa.
What was the footage of?
While we were in Cape Town for 2 weeks, we were filming and interviewing surfers and scientists about the kind of dynamic relationship between the marine life and some science research that's been going on and kind of a controversy between that. And then we were in Kruger, just outside of Johannesburg, for a week, and we filmed some of the wildlife there for a separate wildlife documentary.
That sounds amazing. So has this influenced your careers paths that you're hoping to go on?
Yeah, definitely. I'm an FEI major. Anna's a journalism major. I mean, they kind of go hand in hand when you're trying to make a documentary film. But yeah, for me, I'm actually part of an independent study class, and I just kind of hitched along for the ride going to South Africa. And so from the film that the class is making, I'm going to try and put together a television series.
Wow.
That my professor is going to help pitch to Discovery. So hopefully that will launch my career after school, and I'll be a producer for a documentary series. But that's like the big goal.
That sounds great.
It's my reach, I guess. But yeah, I mean, this is what I want to do, and I think that's what you want to do too.
Yeah, definitely. As far as I just feel very fortunate to be a print journalism major, but having the opportunity to go with Liam and the class to South Africa to film this documentary, it's just a different style of journalism. You really understand a more dynamic. I mean, here we study broadcast or print, and just to be able to do more of a film feature type journalism is just a great opportunity and something that I think I'd really like to continue with in the future.
And do you know yet when the documentary will be released?
I think May 1 is
goal.
the goal. Yeah.
And then what happens once it is released?
Once it's released, I know in the past Liam has made this is Liam's 10th time going, I think, his 10th trip.
Okay.
So each time he's gone, he and the class have made a film. And the normal routine, if the film was good enough, they enter it into the BEA Student Film Festival, which is the Broadcast Education of America, and it's a national convention of film students and journalism students, and they submit documentaries, narrative films, and in the past they've actually won some awards.
Wow.
So I think the main goal, I mean, when we were there, Liam kept on saying, this is such a good film, this is going to be awesome, you guys are putting together some really good stuff, and so hopefully in post-production we'll get the same result.
That sounds great. Good for you guys. We're definitely, I'm sure, all looking forward to seeing the documentary. Thanks so much for coming and talking with me.
Yeah, no problem.
Great. So back to Lisa at the desk.
With graduation quickly approaching, Quinnipiac has created a website to help seniors remember important dates. The senior class cabinet has teamed up with the Information Technology Department to create senior quick links. The website will limit the amount of emails sent to seniors and can be accessed at any time. Senior class president Andrea Rogers said that she hopes that this site will become reusable in the future. The launch date for senior quick links will be announced soon. And 5 people are reportedly dead after a tsunami hit the Solomon Islands following an 8.0 magnitude earthquake last Tuesday night. Dozens of aftershocks followed with magnitudes up to 6.6. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center issued warnings for the surrounding areas like New Zealand, Fiji, and Australia, but canceled them after the danger period passed. The earthquake and tsunami destroyed around 80 homes, and officials say they're continuing to assess the damage in the area.
Coming up after the break, a snowman that puts Frosty to shame. How one man decided to take on the snowy project that ends up bigger than his house.
Plus, our own Elijah Westbrook has the world news.
Keep it tuned to Q30. We'll be right back.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
University Honors Program has created a way for every organization on campus to communicate with the click of a button. The Honors Program has created a meetup group that will allow every club to easily post the dates of their events. Kathy Cook, the director of the Honors Program, said, quote, "We want to make it easy, fun, and academically engaging to be a part of these events. To join the group and make a profile, go to www.quinnipiacmeetupgroup.com. And an engineer from Idaho has quite the imagination, especially with snow. Check out this giant snowman that Jason Gerard made out of his neighbor's snow. The engineer says it took 3 weeks to build and is almost taller than his home. The snowman's eyes are plastic buckets and his nose is a traffic cone. This snowman also wears a hat made from a garbage can and sports a broom made of cattails."
And sometimes giving the forecast can be just as unpredictable as the weather. Check out this video from a news station in Des Moines, Iowa. A studio light went out during Matinka Slater's daily forecast. Then material from the bulb poured down on the studio floor. The meteorologist wasn't hurt, and a fire extinguisher put out the hot mess.
Can you believe that story about the tsunami? It seems like there are so many natural disasters happening lately.
I know, it's such a shame to see what happened
It's
there.
absolutely horrible. I can't believe that all that's going on. But I'm sure Elijah will tell us exactly what is going on with World News in just a second.
Spain's prime minister is facing calls to resign as corruption allegations surround his premiership and his ruling Popular Party. Last week, Spanish newspaper El País published accounts that allegedly show secret payments made to Mariano Rajoy and other top party officials. The main opposition party is now calling for Rajoy to resign, saying that he can no longer lead the country. Protesters took to the streets across Spain after the allegations were published. Mr. Rajoy strongly denied he had accepted any improper payments. And an incredible historic discovery in England is confirmed. Remains were found under a parking lot belonging to a notorious English king. British scientists announced Monday his skull, found in central England, is almost certainly that of Richard III. The University of Leicester released this photograph ahead of its announcement. Archaeologists found the body of a man buried beneath a parking lot in Leicester last year. The scientists say DNA tests confirm the bones belong to the long-lost king. They made the link using DNA of a relative of a former king. Richard III was made famous to later generations in Shakespeare's play of the same name. And last but not least, according to the French newspaper Metro, France has announced its plans to begin pulling its troops out of Mali in March. The French military intervened in the conflict a few weeks ago to keep Islamist rebels from seizing the capital. Since then, the rebels have been on the run, and French and African forces have reportedly ousted them from nearly all of Mali's cities. I'm Elijah Westbrook with your World News. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Elijah. You know, I still can't stop thinking about that giant snowman
I know,
story.
it's absolutely crazy that a guy was able to build a snowman out of that much snow, and we definitely do not have that much snow right now. Absolutely not.
No, but I did hear there's supposed to be some kind of snowstorm happening soon.
I heard that too. I'm not sure exactly how much we're supposed to have, but I think it's supposed to be a pretty large amount.
Chandler's here to tell us more about this upcoming snowstorm. Chandler?
Good evening, I'm Chandler Thornton with your Q30 weather. Coming up, we're going to take a look at this week's forecast and some of our local temps, so stick with us and we'll be right back.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
Welcome back. I'm Chandler Thornton with your Q30 weather. First, let's take a look at some of our local temperatures. It's pretty even around Connecticut right now. Down in New Haven, about 35 degrees, and up towards Hartford, we're about 33 degrees. And over in Waterbury, you can see about 34 degrees. Now to our radar. So as you can see, it's pretty clear right now, not much happening, but there is some snow that's expected to come in sometime probably tomorrow or tomorrow evening, so be prepared. Now to our national temperatures. So down south in Dallas, we're warming up to about 75 degrees, and over towards our west coast, we're getting around to the 50s and 60s in Los Angeles and San Francisco. And over in New York, we're about in the 30s, 36 degrees, and up towards Canada and Winnipeg, we're getting down to 7 degrees. Now for tonight's forecast. So tonight, it's supposed to be a pretty clear evening, down to 16 degrees with some wind coming in from northwest at 14 miles per hour, but it should still be pretty clear. Now for tomorrow. Tomorrow we should get up to about 29 degrees, mostly cloudy with a little less wind coming in from the northeast at 7 miles per hour. And now for our weekly forecast. So this weekend we should be getting, there is a chance of snow for Friday, getting to 37 degrees with a low of 23 degrees. But over next week we should be warming up with a high of around 42 and a low of the low 30s. I'm Chandler Thornton, and that's your weather forecast. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Chandler. So did you see Beyonce perform at the Super Bowl?
I did. That performance was amazing.
It
Especially
really was.
when Destiny's Child came out, they had that reunion.
It was my favorite part when they popped out from the floor. It was unbelievable. Completely unexpected.
I know. I wonder what else Beyonce has planned for the rest of the year.
I heard she has some big plans, so hopefully that's true. I'm really anticipating it. If she does, I would love to see her in concert or whatever she has planned. But I know China and Alyssa have some more with entertainment. China?
Thanks, Ryan and Lisa. Well, after her jaw-dropping halftime performance at the Super Bowl, Beyonce has announced that she will be going on her first world tour in 3 years. She will start on April 15th in Europe and finally come to Los Angeles starting June 28th. The tour is properly called the Mrs. Carter Show. Her previous I Am tour was ranked #1 on Billboard's Hot Tour charts. Now, if the halftime show is an indication of what the tour will be like, Queen Bee may have another Billboard Hot Tour on the way.
News team assemble. Actress Kristen Wiig is officially on board for the making of Anchorman: The Legend Continues. She will join the sequel of the 2004 hit comedy. Returning to the big screen is Will Ferrell, who will be playing the hilarious newsman Ron Burgundy. Along with Ferrell, Christine Applegate, Paul Rudd, David Koechner, and Steve Carell are all ready for the reunion. The film will open December 20th. Oprah Winfrey's network is being sued for sex discrimination. Former executive of OWN, Carolyn Hommel, says she was laid off a month after giving birth in 2012. After being senior director of scheduling and acquisitions for 2 years, Hommel had hopes of moving up in the company.
Hommel says she was forced to take medical leave because of her pregnancy. When she returned, she was looked over for the position. Her duties as director were gradually taken away, and soon she had no job. Neither Oprah nor OWN have a comment on the lawsuit. And that's it for entertainment this week. I'm Alyssa Meyer.
And I'm China Bochelle, and we're going to take it back to Ryan and Lisa. Thank you so much, guys. So now, obviously we all saw Beyonce. Did you actually watch the Super Bowl?
I did actually, even though I had no clue what was going on.
Not a single clue, not a clue. But the Ravens did win, so congratulations to them. And from what we hear, the parade was pretty festive.
Yeah, and I heard our very own Jasmine has an update on that. Jasmine?
Hello, ladies. The men's hockey team defeated their rival this weekend as the Ravens also won the championship. Stick around. Sports is next after the break.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
The nationally ranked #2 QU men's ice hockey team came back after a 2-goal deficit this weekend. They defeated #7 Yale 6-2. Yale got an early start, leading 2-0. Midway through the second period, Matthew Pekka gave the Bobcats a lift. With under 5 minutes to play in the second period, Ben Arndt sealed the deal as the Bobcats defeated the Yale Bulldogs. The men's team extends its NCAA unbeaten streak to 19 games. Quinnipiac returns to action on Friday, February 8th against Cornell. Women's ice hockey played in the front of their largest crowd yet with nearly 870 people. Trailing 2-1 against Yale, Kelly Babstock scored a goal with 29.5 seconds remaining in the game to tie. The Bobcats entered the third period facing a 2-0 deficit. The Yale Bulldogs came to play as they jumped to an early 1-0 lead, but the QU would soon follow. The women's hockey team was able to draw up a perfect play for Babstock to end the game in a tie. Now the Bobcats will move on to their last regular season home weekend series as they face Cornell Friday, followed by Colgate on their senior day. Baltimore celebrated with its Super Bowl champions Ravens on Tuesday. There were thousands of fans in purple lining the streets and packing the team stadium for a celebration. An estimated 200,000 people took part in the celebration. Ray Lewis emerged from a tunnel onto the field, handed off the Lombardi Trophy, and did his signature dance. When the team arrived, they treated fans to a thank you celebration that lasted for about an hour. Flacco, the Super Bowl MVP, left the crowd with this: "Baltimore, we did it. Super Bowl champs, baby." I'm Jasmine Martin. Back to you at the desk.
That'll do it for Q30 News tonight.
If you would like to get involved in Q30 News, please visit our website at www.q30.org and like our Facebook and Twitter pages. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week with the latest in local and Quinnipiac news.
Good night.